this is what I have so far. So I got the glass lens, for the penetration chamber today. So this is it. It's soldered in place inside the cylinder. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a demonstration on how it's assembled. Alright, so this is the deflection plate. It's like a guide vane inside a microwave. So that's the deflection plate. Let's go ahead and take that out real quick. Alright. So that's what the magnetron looks like when it's inside. Once I put on the deflection plate, then you can't see the magnetron. So the microwaves have to go around the deflection plate in order to enter the chamber. Alright, so there's a rubber seal that goes on. And that's that. Then the glass goes on. This is a really thick piece of glass. Alright. And then this is a Teflon O-ring. Goes on here. Then this goes on. Alright, so it's sticking out a little bit, so that way I can screw it on nice and tight. Alright, and then well, bolt the bracket plate. Just bolt that bracket plate on, and then you can bolt the magnetron to that. Goes inside that hole. So again, this is not a vacuum chamber right here. The vacuum chamber is on this side of the glass. Alright, so then there is, this is a vacuum chamber anyway. A seal goes on the vacuum chamber, then this connects, and then this is the engagement ring, I think you call it. That goes on like that. It just screws on. Alright, and then with the cap on there. Oh jeez. Alright. Yeah. Alright, put that cap on there like that. Put another engagement ring. Alright. So the I haven't really decided where the vacuum is going to be. Like, the vacuum chamber is actually complete. It's just an empty chamber, and then with that glass, that sight glass on there, it completes the seal and allows the microwaves to enter inside the vacuum chamber. So the main piece to the vacuum chamber is now complete. The only thing that I have to really decide now is where the vacuum valve actually connects. It needs to be connecting into the bottom because the air is going to go down towards the bottom. So if this is the bottom, then I would need to make the hole like down here, and then the air will go down towards the bottom. Or if the magnetron's on the top, then the valve needs to connect into the bottom. And I don't really like that. I kind of like the idea of everything going into the magnetron, uh, the penetration chamber. But I don't really know yet. I don't know if I really want to mess with that because I've already done so much to this as it is. The bracket and the magnetron. Everything's taken me so much time and so much money as it is. I don't really know where I want to put that because otherwise, if something does happen that I don't like, then I'm gonna end up losing time and money. I don't know how much this is all costing me. Around more than $200, including the vacuum pump and everything. Who needs a vacuum pump? This goes in here like this. Alright. And then that. Oh shoot. Forgot that. Alright. So as it is like this is what a theoretical test model for a warp drive would look like. I mean, this is the test chamber. So whatever you put inside the chamber, that's your warp field. That's generating a warp field. Now it's not so much that it's generating the warp field, it's that you're using some field that's already there and just manipulating it, deflecting it in such a way that it creates a expansion and decompression of space. So as it is, the main reason why vacuuming it out, I think I've already said multiple times, but every time I do these videos, I'm always super tired. It's always late at night. It's already 1:06 in the morning. The reason why it's vacuumed out is because using the vacuum to increase virtual particles, and by increasing the virtual particles, you'll have more opportunities of them actually hitting the object inside. So it could be the glass or it could be the metal, whichever one wins, or if they both work the same. I don't know. And those, like I've mentioned before in the first video to this, there is other designs that will be tested too, just to assume that this design doesn't work. There's many different ways that you can play with waves, and that's basically what this is a wave generating machine that it's not wave generating, it's a wave manipulating machine. And the way, what it does is it takes the wave and it turns the wave into an expansion or a contraction of space. And it doesn't matter if the magnetron's on this side or that side, it just matters on the thing that's inside. The thing on the inside is going to pull on space or contract and expand space, or whatever it takes to play with virtual particles. Well, if you are ever able to play with virtual particles, then it's already known that virtual particles they use space to become a virtual particle, and they become space when they're gone. So the fact is there, and it is definite. Everybody knows that if a rocket's moving through space, and if he's moving, then the space behind him is growing and the space in front of him is decreasing. And you could say that it's because the rocket's moving that that's happening, but if space is just one thing, then what actually defines that? You say it's many scientists say fractals and stuff like that, but that doesn't really make sense. What would make sense is that it is not fractals at all, but actually um, it is actually space moving rather than the rocket moving, and it's a differential. It's a differential in you, and it's a differential in space. It's a differential in the both. It's not just you. It's not just a rocket. It's not just a vehicle. It's the vehicle plus this. It's this plus this equals this. And that is the idea. So if you change your speed and energy and you create a force, then you create a motion. So if this thing does expand space and if it does contract space, then it creates motion. The very first machine will definitely just create motion. If anybody ever creates a warp drive, the first warp drive is going to be motion. And no scientist, no, nothing in scientists have I ever heard this before. They always say that warp drive doesn't make you move; it just warps space. But in my idea, it does. It creates motion. And the only way that you could actually travel faster than the speed of light is if you are enveloped in a field. So you'd have to have a, a field that is going around you. Like you would have to have a field expanding in front of you and a field contracting from the back of you. And then these two fields interact with you, like they're directed towards you. And what will happen is you in the middle will not be squished smithereens, or you won't be exploded, because you're in the intermediate zone, and that will allow you to survive these two extreme forces. So that's like a diamond shape. Think about it like a diamond shape. One side is a point, and the other side is a point, and they expand out around you and create a field. So that's like a diamond shaped field. And I don't know. Like if you're talking about this device, if you're inside the middle, then uh, you will it will decrease your mass basically. You become a different energy level. It decreases your mass, and then this uh, object can move faster, and it may be because the field is directed inwards over here. It's creating a field already around this craft because it's pushing out energy this way and it's uh, contracting this way. So this does have the diamond shaped field, but I don't know if that's going to be the correct amount that you need for it to actually make this object move faster than the speed of light. But it may. It may be just this field. It may just be this type of object inside here that will allow you to move faster than the speed of light. But definitely nothing like Star Trek, where you can't have the spaceship in the front. You have to have it in the middle. And no matter what, everything always has to be in the middle of the craft. So if you had a warp drive, if I can imagine a warp drive at this time, I would say it looks just like this. Maybe different. Maybe instead of like a big magnetron that looks like a magnetron, of course, I mean it could be something like that or whatever. And it doesn't matter which way the craft is uh, made to move, it will just move because there is a magnetron. Like a magnetron could be here on the side, or it could be in front of the back. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the object of the warp drive would actually just look like this. It would just be one thing that you're inside of. It wouldn't be the spaceship here and an engine here. You have to be embedded inside the engine, which isn't it's not dangerous if you're in a uh, chamber that's deflecting microwaves. I don't know. It's not dangerous. So you can be inside a protective chamber that's inside the cylinder, and then the cylinder is just blasting you with different types of forces that are contradicting each other around you, and because of that, you're able to survive. Uh, so my assumption is that this device, if it worked, it wouldn't move faster than the speed of light, but who knows?